Welcome to another episode of Slay with me, Lee M. Clark. I am here with Elizabeth Cinquini today from Naples, although she's an OG New Yorker and has recently made Naples her home. We'll get into all of that. She was part of the Slaying Naples book, a well-loved designer. I mean, I love, you can see behind her, like she is just like a maximalist who can work in any type of style, but she really loves things that put a stamp on your life. So I'm so excited to have you on the show today. Thank you for being here, Elizabeth.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Me too, me too. Like literally you had me at hello when I saw the wallpaper behind you. And also she like loves the neon things as like I love the neon things. And that's a rare thing,
Yeah.
not everyone has that appreciation for the bold. But have you always been a bold person? Like was that always your style? Were you the standout growing up?
Yeah, I mean, I always, from as far as I can remember, I've always loved color, patterns, textures. Whether it was with fashion or with home, I was always buying weird clothing in like the village and things like that. So, yeah, color, pattern, and texture was just always something I loved. And I feel like so many homes, especially in Florida, everything is all white, white walls, white furniture. And I feel like a lot of it doesn't have any personality.
Yeah.
I love to travel. So, I travel like whether it's Asia or Europe, and I love to like bring home like all of these influences with me and like really infuse your personality into the space. That's
Yeah,
what really lights me up.
it's crazy. My mom's an interior designer, and one thing she always says is like, you should pick things you would wear. So if you like wearing a certain color, that's a great wall color for you because that's like what you surround yourself in. And you can always ground things with like a denim or a khaki or a black, or just like you would with putting an outfit together. So I can even see today that you bring your patterns forward, like the art, it's art pieces though. What do you think of all this trending in the new wallpaper painting thing going on? Because it's a thing, isn't it a thing?
I mean, I always loved wallpaper. I really feel like it really just transforms a whole entire room. It adds so much dimension and personality. So I'm a big fan of wallpaper. I love it. I actually had yesterday, I was wallpapering in my laundry room because I had, some pretty standard cabinets in there that were a plain color. And I just wallpapered the front of the doors. And it like looks like a whole new space. Like there are simple things that you can do, but yeah, I'm
Is
always for wallpaper.
Is it still like it used to be where or you peel and stick or both with the
So,
same it's hard.
so
Yeah.
both. Like for the cabinet doors, I used a peel and stick, but for most of my clients and my rooms and like these walls, these are the real like pasted
Paper.
wallpaper. Yeah. But
Yeah.
there are some like great quality like peel and stick options, especially if you're a renter or you don't want to commit to something,
Yeah, that's me.
forever, that's easily removable. It's a great option.
Only because as the child of an interior designer, I have done the thing that has to serrate the wallpaper to spray it with the goo to scrape it off the wall.
Yeah.
So I've been on that side of the wallpaper so many times.
Yeah.
But I love the peel and stick options. I also love all the paneling and things that are coming in. Have you
Oh
done any
yeah.
installs with paneling?
Yeah, all different kinds of wall treatments, whether it's wood. I mean, there's amazing materials now that you can literally create anything on your walls. So I always prefer something like that over just a whole house of plainly painted walls.
Yeah, I love a good
Just add-
wallpaper in the bathroom. Like I'm a big fan of a good wallpaper in the bathroom. It's like a statement piece. It's kind of like,
Exactly.
and also accent walls. I also love a good accent wall. So what are you doing now? You work on both big projects, but then people also bring you in for consults. Is that how you work?
Yeah, I mean, I specialize in custom home builds and large remodels. So everything from your working with your architect on plans to layout and design, doing selections with you, to fully furnished turnkey move-in ready. So my clients, a lot of times they really are super busy. They're professionals, they're running businesses, they have families. And I kind of just get to know them really well, understand what they want, and really see that vision from beginning to end. And then they move into fully furnished turnkey space, which I love working on projects like that. But I also have a designer for a day, which is a new service that I'm offering. It's more of consulting. It's a couple of hours, and in one day, I kind of meet you where you are in your project, whether you haven't started yet, you're thinking of doing a renovation, or you're in the process of a renovation and you're overwhelmed and you need someone to help you with decisions. And we take those couple hours and we basically can, I can give you options on layouts and design or sourcing furniture for you. It's more of just an extended consultation. I've done that a few times and the response has been amazing. So I'm going to be offering that a few times a month, maybe 4 or 5 slots a month. For new clients, it's a great way for new people to get to know me and an introduction to working together, which will ultimately, lead to bigger projects. That's the goal.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't realize that. Like a lot of times designers can come in and help you reimagine the space you're in
Hmm.
and things, furniture layout, things you never thought to move the couch there, or you never thought like a floor to ceiling window treatment would change the entire vibe of the room. And so
Hmm.
getting somebody for the ideation phase, I would call it, is really, really exciting and important too. And also that decision making on bigger projects, because it sounds great to do a reno, right? Until you have to pick fixtures, and then you're picking also the marble, and then you're picking like tiles that coordinate, and
Hmm.
you don't want these choices to happen independently, which a lot of people do. You go to the marble store one day, you go to the faucet place another. So making sure you have a cohesive plan, right, for
Yes,
those different design elements, so that they're all going to complement one of each other or one another.
yeah.
um and instead of being independent choices, because I have seen that if you've ever go to somebody's house that didn't really like coordinate the decision making, and like one thing is looking colonial and the other piece is super modern, and you're like, you know
Exactly.
kind of like
Exactly. It's
fonts.
bringing all the details together. And again, people will get into a big renovation project but if you're running a business and you have a family and you have all these other things to do, that's a full-time project in itself. So they need the help. And why not, hire an expert to make the process easy for you, take away the stress so you can actually enjoy your home building process.
And I also think, like you mentioned earlier, it gives them an opportunity to get to know you, work with you, get some value up front, no
Yeah.
matter what, if they choose to move forward with design project with you now, later, whatever. But
Right.
also, you really want to know you mesh with your designer. I've seen, obviously, I live in the HGTV land of designers, but
Mhm.
you don't always get somebody's full personality from a design presentation, because it's very one way. It's like, here's what we're putting together and all that. To your point, as you're creating spaces for people, you really want to get to know them and understand their day to day, and also make sure you guys like vibe and that you click. Because if
Yeah.
that's a really important process, that the design team should be an extension of your vision. And if your vision's not aligned with your design team, it's kind of like walking around blind, So I think it's really important that people do leverage that. You mentioned travel. I know you do a lot of travel. So tell me about, like, didn't you do all like the fancy Amalfi Coast in a convertible with like the headscarf thing this summer? Because I was fangirling.
Yes, I did. So I was in Paris earlier this year, and then also we did a big family trip to Italy. So we did Rome, the Amalfi Coast. We went all over Sicily. It was incredible. I love like the old world charm of Europe. That's definitely something I miss, being in Florida now. We had some of it in New York, but Florida,
Right.
yeah, Florida doesn't really have a lot of that. A lot of the homes here, it's like a lot of cookie cutter, coastal. So I love to like go there, be inspired, eat all the good food, sit at the cafes, go to the museums. But I really have a love for Europe, and fell in love with Paris and I fell in love with Italy, and I definitely want to spend more time there. Go shopping, going to the antique stores and the markets and the flea markets. And I would love to be able to like shop for my clients there and bring them, bring all the goodies back that you can't get here in the States.
Also, have you ever thought about like the Airbnb being a place for the summer or things like that,
Oh,
like the Ypres look?
I'm definitely thinking of how I can spend more time there for sure.
That's nice. And I love the lifestyle there. But that's also, I'm a New Yorker, you're a New Yorker. And that's
Yeah.
something yes, a nod to the architecture. First off, just driving around there recently, and we love to chat GPT while we drive, my boyfriend and I. So we're like, oh, how old is the building on the corner of the street and this street? They're like
Yeah.
1682, whatever. They're like the Revolutionary War. So,
Mm.
firstly, there is the fact that, like, obviously, those states were they were established earlier. The
Yeah.
craftsmanship in
Uh,
1920 was way more amazing than the craftsmanship in 1960. And
yeah.
so Florida didn't really come like get built up till later in the defense of Florida. But also the cultural thing about New York
Mhm.
Everybody, like, cultures are so proud and represented throughout. So you really do feel like you're, similar to Epcot, right? Like, where you're going from neighborhood to neighborhood. You could be in Germany in one neighborhood, you could be in like Korea in another neighborhood. And
Yeah.
so those influences. So growing up, you mentioned, like, Soho and that. Where did you live exactly? Tell the people. And then did you go to the city a lot, in your younger years?
Yeah, so I grew up in Brooklyn. But I was always in the city. My parents, even when I was a child, we would always like go into the city, go into Soho, the Village. We would go to Rockefeller Center during Christmas. And then once I graduated college and I started working full time, I was working in Manhattan every day. So I was doing that commute back and forth. It was an hour and a half each way to my office because, it's New York, so you're sitting in traffic all the time. Um, but I worked in a corporate, like that's how I got into interior design. I was doing corporate visual merchandising and store design and
Mm.
was able to work for this company that was amazing and was expanding all over the world and opening stores. And so I got to design stores and travel and work on all the store designs for all these amazing locations like all over Asia and the US. And so that really was my entry into interior design and all the travel and all of that. So it's been a huge part of my life, but the commute to the city was killing me. I was spending 15 hours a week commuting. And then after 10 years, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start my own company. And so in 2015, I left the corporate world, decided to start my own business because I knew that I could come up with a simpler, more streamlined process and make it more enjoyable, the design process for my clients and for myself. And I could structure it my own way. And so it's been over 10 years, and that's what I've been doing ever since.
That's amazing. Yeah. And like, I keep bringing my mom up because that's what my mom did growing up. She worked in visual merchandising
Yeah.
for like Stearns, and which, you remember Stearns from New York. And
Yes,
like,
of
so
course.
I grew up going and seeing, she used to tell us our Christmas presents were in the front window, even though like you would have to realize she would have to get them out in time for Christmas. So it didn't really make sense. But no,
Yeah.
she came from that and then again pivoted into interior design. So what kind of, like, this is like kind of an odd question, but what do you think from merchandising and design skills are like some of the things that you bring into the home from doing store displays? Like, are you great curating
Oh
things?
my
Like,
God. Yeah. I mean, everything from space planning to working with different materials to understanding how to create environments, create
mm,
branding, right? I mean, everything we do when you walk into your home, I always say this, like your home should rise up to greet you when you open the front door. You should instantly feel calm and at peace and like this is my space. And if it doesn't give you that, then something is wrong.
yeah.
A lot of people like sometimes they feel like their home like stresses them out. It's cluttered. It doesn't feel like them. It's not finished. It doesn't serve like if they like to entertain, maybe their whole kitchen area does is not suitable for that. So it's really like customizing your space to fit your lifestyle, your
Yeah.
your wants, the functionality, all of that. And so I learned all of that from definitely from the store design and visual merchandising.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. And I just did that, I lived in the same house for almost 15 years. I
Mhm.
bought it. And it was getting like, it wasn't at the level I wanted to be at anymore, but also the stuff, like I was like starting to accumulate things and I got rid of everything. When I say everything, you like look around, I'm one of those Florida people with like nothing in my house. It's like I got rid of everything. And
Yeah.
at, 45, right, halfway point, I was like, especially, in Florida, we have hurricanes and stuff. My house got hit with a hurricane really bad, still repairing from that. But
Yeah.
I realized, stuff doesn't matter. And I think Wayne Dyer, had talked about he took a year where he got rid of every worldly position and then or possession and then went and studied the Tao. I didn't
Mhm.
do all that. But I
Okay.
was like, one of the quotes is have a mind that's open to everything and attached to nothing.
Mm.
And I think that it's important that there's certain little sentimental things. There's a couple obviously sentimental things I brought, but by and large, just being able to like have the courage to walk away from a space that no longer serves you in
Yeah.
pursuit of one that does. And it took me some time. We're still like, I still don't have bar stools because I haven't found the ones I want, but I want to be very intentional with my choices. And I'd
Mhm.
rather have nothing than just something that's good enough or there's nothing wrong with it. Well, there's also nothing right with it, you know? So I think a lot of people have some fear about like
Right.
changes, but to your point, you should walk in the house, should rise to meet you, and you should feel instantly calm. And if that
Yeah.
means like parting with stuff, get a dumpster, man. Just, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, I just all the stuff was weighing me down. So I couldn't agree more. I think it's so important. And I didn't even think about the spatial planning aspect of being able to run stores and stuff because you have to create an experience around a product. So
Yeah.
yeah, when
Everything
things
from the
go up,
store
some things
windows, from the store windows to the moment you walk in to the, I mean, you've been in stores where they have certain smells pumping through, the music,
yeah,
like every single detail is to create that shopping experience. So that
absolutely.
definitely translates to homes as well, because like if I don't really love to cook, but if I have a kitchen where I love my kitchen and it's very easy, then I'm going to want to cook more.
Right.
Same thing like
Right.
with your home office. Like if I was sitting in a home office with nothing on the walls and it was just bare, I would not be inspired. I would not be able to create in that environment. So, knowing, and that's why too, like getting to know our clients, like what they need and transforming the spaces to maximize their productivity. That's
Right.
really what we're here for.
No, I love that. I love that so much. And so tell us about the big move from New York to Florida that just happened, what, 3 years ago?
3 years, yeah. So oh my God, I feel like I've been in New York for the most part, like lived there my whole life. And my husband and I, we have two kids. We were burnt out. It was after COVID where we were, you know, home in the house for 9 months almost with COVID. And then we just decided we wanted a complete life change. My husband was a detective and he was working all the time. The kids were, doing remote school and we were like, we can't, like, we just need something else. So we decided we were going to move to Florida. We came to Naples. We had never been here before, ever. We took a 1 week vacation with the kids, and like from the minute we landed at Fort Myers Airport and like got out of the airport, got in the car rental and started driving around Naples, we were like, "Oh my God, what is this place? This is like out of a movie. This is insane. Like truly paradise." We absolutely loved it. And so we decided on that trip that we were going to move here. And then we found a piece of land in a community, started building a house, and then a year later, we changed our whole life and moved here.
That's so crazy. So it really was a bloom from the pandemic of kind of like
Yeah.
enough's enough. And anybody who's in New York, all big love. Think,
Mhm.
well, our population's really high already, but it's overcrowded. There's no more room up there. I keep telling people, I just went, they're out of room. So don't move there. If you're there, think about moving somewhere else. But also, so my boyfriend and I went there for Slay New York brunch and he had never really experienced New York. And first
Yeah.
off, it's gotten way more crowded than when I was there, and I left in '08. It's gotten way more crowded. There's more
Yeah.
people. There's like 8 million here in the
Mhm.
middle, and then the rest of the island and the rest of the state is still not as much as the people who are all right here in the middle there on the New York thing. So
Yeah.
that, but also like coming down here, like he's only really known like tropics. He's from Jamaica, he knows Florida, right? So going up there, it's like he's like, what is the why do people want to be here? Like, what are they doing? No offense, I love New York. Listen, and I was like, I drove him to Bear Mountain, right? And
Yeah.
I drove him out to the like Ocean Parkway. And I was like, see,
Yeah.
there's a lot of redeeming qualities for New York, but it's a lot of stress. It's very expensive.
Yeah.
Um, everyone's a little bit overwhelmed because literally it's a population overwhelm. It happens in
Yeah.
nature too. If you get too many animals in one place, it's not good. So I think
It's very
seeing
stressful environment.
it is. It is.
And that's,
And listen, I love the hustle. I love the grind. I love
yeah.
the energy. I'm totally that vibe. I'm my ADHD is like lit up in New York City. It's all the things. Coming here is a different vibe. It's a
Totally.
completely different lifestyle. And there's
Yeah.
some things that are not the same. You don't see people walking around. You can't just go to the deli. You can't every there are definitely trades that you make when you move to Florida, but the
100%.
lifestyle is so different. I mean, I've been here long enough that I can't imagine just accessing it. I have to stay here and go there.
Yeah.
That's better for me. Do you guys go back a lot?
Probably once a year.
Yeah.
I was going back more in the beginning, but now it's about once a year.
Yeah, I mean, I still love going. Like, I will never stop being a New
Yeah.
Yorker. I will never stop going. And even till like 2020, I kept my office there. So I lived here and I would just like
Okay.
fly up there and work there a few days a week. But like you,
Good.
I lived on the island. Well, you didn't live in the island, you lived in Brooklyn, but
Brooklyn.
the
Yeah.
commute, the commute, I used to live out like, LIE past the 50s.
Okay. Oh,
So
yeah.
it was, I mean, it was a 2 hour commute each way when I worked in the city. It was like an hour in Melville, and it's just a lot of your
Yeah.
life that you're trading for that. I prefer the train for that reason because at least you can read or get something done instead of
Yeah.
exchanging these hours in traffic.
Yeah. The commute really is a killer.
Yeah.
You think of, because I at one point I just had a realization. I'm like, I'm spending 15 hours a week commuting.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Like that doesn't make sense to me.
Well,
But
I
I'm
love the
so
pandemic for
involved in the
that.
rat race of this is
Yeah.
what we do. Like my parents did it. Like everyone does that. They commute to the city, and I was just like, there's definitely gonna be got to be a better way. And so
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not doing it anymore.
No, well, and listen, that's where these major moments really do evoke change. For me, the
Yeah.
reason I left was '08, the recession. I could not
Okay.
hang. I was a
Right.
28-year-old director of marketing who lost her job, and I had no plan, no savings, no idea. So they cut me then. But COVID and pandemic changed so many things, and I think for the positive, because all of those
Yeah.
people who are spending 15 hours a week commuting, so many bosses now are remote, flex
Hmm.
schedule, again, better for everybody's traffic, but
Hmm.
there's a lot more focus on family, and that's where I think the home space is so important now more than ever. The home offices, everyone's the influencers and content creators who are creating in their kitchens,
Hmm.
like your home has become much more of an epicenter than it was pre-COVID. But I do love that we gave away this like you all have to stand in the building in order to accomplish your job thing.
Yeah.
um and I think people are more productive, honestly, when they have a little bit more freedom and autonomy. But you've been your own boss for over 10 years. What do you think some of the biggest lessons you've learned in the last 10 years have been?
You have to be really strong and resilient and courageous and be willing to pivot and try different things and get out of your comfort zone. I mean, networking and meeting people is one of the most important things you can do. I mean, your network is your net worth. I mean, referrals, that's to me, that's really how business comes for me always. So moving to Florida and not knowing a single person here, I had to like put myself into this community and figure out like where do I fit? How does this work? Um, but yeah, I mean, you really have to just keep going, and because there's so many things, there's be so many like setbacks and difficult times and things that maybe don't feel like they're working. But the one thing I always tell myself is it's all working because
Yeah.
there's a reason everything happens, and each the magic truly is in who you become like after the setbacks and the failures. So when you say
100%.
something is not working, no, it happened for a reason and it's building you for something else. It's because you needed to pivot, you needed to change, you need to, adapt, establish boundaries, like whatever the case is. Um, it's just this roller coaster. It's ups and downs. The highs are really high, but the lows can be really low. So, you just can't get stuck in either one of them for too long. You just got to keep moving forward and keep going. And I feel like I'm always working, but I'm not because I love it so much. But I'm always working on my business.
Yeah.
What are new things that I can offer or, new groups or organizations I can join, things like that. Because again, it's about finding your people
Hmm.
that you want to be around, that you can build your business with, and really enjoy doing it. And that's the whole point.
Yeah, and I love that you mentioned that because you are a hand raiser. I will say that one of the things I joked with Elizabeth, like everyone knew her. Like anytime I would mention that Elizabeth was in the book, they're like, "Oh, I know her." And I love that for you because you are a hand raiser. You do show up, whether it's Naples
Yeah.
Fashion Week or being part of this series. And you're so right about your network being your net worth. I mean, literally, why I built the series is to find women who are all achievers and doers, but of service, more importantly, of service. There's a lot of achievers and doers, but not everyone is of service and really wants to help others from a genuine place.
Yeah.
So, knowing that to bring all these people together, the power of that exponential people who want to serve,
Mhm.
helping each other, first with the book with your audiences. Like it goes from being just my 70K to my 70K plus hers plus it.
Right.
So you have the power of multiplicity that most that's why people want a big publisher, because they have distribution.
Yeah.
Well, get people together who are empowered, who really are genuinely collaborative over competitive. To be in
Right.
a collective, you have to be collaborative. Like at the door, I'm already like dealing with collaborative people because it's a collection, right? So
Yeah.
I love that. And then also I deal with women who are open, honest, and authentic, because
Mhm.
you wouldn't write a nonfiction piece about your life unless you're willing to be somewhat of an open book. So right there, number two is passed. Like now I know that they're open, honest, and authentic, and then I also know they're collaborative. So the relationships that come out of those books are like beyond even the book is going to be a legacy forever. It'll always be on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. As long as the Internet of Things continues, that will always be a part of your story. But those relationships can really build. And I think what you've done in Naples is important too, to join a lot of different things and see of that, where are your people? Because
Right.
sometimes when people come to a new place, they pick one group and then find themselves really unhappy with some of the relationships that they've built because they're
Yeah.
ill-fitting. But if you go to all the different parties and kind of figure out, oh, I like this one from here and that one from
Right.
here works really well for me. So have you built a little tribe? Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because you have something exciting coming up. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, again, when you're trying all these different things and then you'll realize, okay, I'm not really feeling this group, but I like this one. And so, over the course of 3 years, I've definitely, you know, I know,
Mm.
like, okay, I'm not feeling that, but this is, and I could keep changing and keep pivoting and I keep trying new things because that's what's important,
Yeah. Well,
you know?
speaking of new things and pivoting, you're
Yeah.
doing something so exciting. So most of the world of design is online. There's something in the marketing world we call click and mortar, and you are about to become part of the click and mortar, knowing that she's actually going to be opening a storefront location with design. So tell me more about that. When's it happening? All the fun details, because I love that people can actually be in your design while they're considering their own.
Okay, so yeah, we're excited. Early 2026, so January, we're targeting opening up a design house here in Naples. And basically, it's myself, so the world of Elizabeth Cinquini Interiors, and my business partner who owns a custom millwork shop. So as an interior designer, millwork and cabinetry is one of the main details that we use in all of our projects, whether it's, kitchens or built-ins or bathroom vanities or wine rooms, libraries, all the things. So they have a workshop here in Naples where everything is designed, built, finished right here. It's a local business. So we're coming together to really create this one of a kind experience that I feel like Naples is really missing. So we're going to have all the custom cabinetry, which we can showcase all the different applications we can do. Our showroom is going to be set up kind of like a little house where you can walk through different rooms. So you'll have a kitchen and dining area, living room. We'll have an office, a library. And this way you can really see how we can basically be your one-stop shop for every single thing that you need in your house.
I love that. And I just love people being able to be immersed in it. Like showrooms are really helpful
Yeah.
in decision making too, to be able to sit down and look at finishes and make choices and look on the screen. So is it exciting to put it together? And you never ever had a storefront before, right? This is the
No,
first
I never
storefront
did. Yeah, so this will
since
be my
visual
first
merchandising,
one.
right?
Yeah, so it's exciting.
Yeah,
It's
and that's your background. So like it's got to be very exciting. Now you're the
exactly.
store owner.
Exactly. So it'll be great for clients to come in, also for builders and contractors that can come and send their clients in as well. So we can help with the home building process.
That's amazing. And tell them where it's going to be.
So it's going to be on Pine Ridge and 41 in Naples.
So if you're not familiar with Naples, that's a very
It's
well-known
pretty
area. Pine Ridge,
central
it's
location.
right off
Yeah,
of 75, Pine Ridge Road. It's one of the major
exactly. It's
exits. But fly
it's
down
very
here, because if you haven't gone to Naples, she's right. It is that and Marco Island, very magical places to live. Very like best kept secret kind of thing. Like we don't want to be as busy as Santa Barbara,
yeah,
California, but we're just as cool.
yeah.
So well, tell the people how to find you. How do they find you on the interwebs?
So you can find me on my website, which is www.elizabethcinquini.com, or on Instagram at Elizabeth Cinquini, or on Facebook at Elizabeth Cinquini or Elizabeth Cinquini Interiors. You can pretty much find me anywhere by my name.
100%. We'll tag you here, obviously. Follow her,
Mhm.
look at her designs, so inspiring. And again, somebody who's genuinely of a service heart. She wants to help other people. She wants to inspire. She wants to like help them leave their mark. So whether you're just, popping in for like a fast design session with her, like she talked about earlier, to just have her kind of help you along wherever you're at in your design process, or doing the full blown, full scale thing,
Yeah.
you'll definitely have a home that is extremely memorable and comfortable. So thank you again, Elizabeth, for being on the show. Stay with me and I'm say bye.
Thank
Bye.
you so much.
You're welcome.